But Tony, you know, wrestlers all over the world are looking at videotapes, trying to figure out a way, if you will, to crack the code on Goldberg. Hennig himself a former United States champion. Maybe he and Rude think they found a way to put Goldberg down and take the belt back to NWO Wolfpack.
Well, as good as Goldberg is, you can't take any away from this man right here, Curt Hennig. Goldberg's going to lose, and eventually he will. We all know that'll happen. That can be the man that will do it.
That's a great point. A Hennig-Goldberg matchup would be nothing less than spectacular.
Cut the music!
They shook hands. Now this tells me a lot here about where Rude stands.
You know, with all the changes in the NWO lately, people been asking me, Rick Rude, whose side you on? Are you red and black? Are you white and black? Where are you coming from, Rude? Well, let me tell you right now, Rick Rude is true blue, a friend till the end. Curt Hennig and I, we live by the buddy system. He watches me, I watch him. And the only colors that you're gonna see when the two of us get together are black and blue.
You know what's really bothering me is this Bill Goldberg running around going, oh, I'm 89-0. Well, let me tell you something right now, Goldberg. I don't know who's keeping track of wins and losses. You're the biggest mark I've ever seen in my life. And if you want to step foot in the ring with Curt Hennig, I'll put a blemish on it right now, tonight.
Oh, you want to do it right now? There you got it, Goldberg. I know you're in the back. I can smell your boots. We'll give you 10 seconds. Get on out here. 1, 2.
Hold on here.
3.
I got a better idea. I know he hasn't got the guts to come out and face me. The Great American Bash, June the 14th. I want the world to see Bill Goldberg go down. You know, he's like the Titanic of the WCW. Big old boat built not to sink. Goldberg, you're gonna run into an iceberg from Minnesota. And when you hit that iceberg, you're going down to the bottom of the WCW, never to see light again.
The bottom line, Bill Goldberg, or should I say, we, Willie Goldberg. United we stand, secluded you fall.
Well, that seems pretty logical to say exactly what they said, fans. We want to make this abundantly clear. We all know, we know who's here and who's not here, and they know it as well. Bill Goldberg, the U.S. champ, undefeated, is not here tonight. Hennig knows that, Rude knows that, or they wouldn't say things like that.
Oh, I got to grin over it. Don't you find this to be typical NWO? They are so brave, so bold. It takes two of them to call out a man who they know isn't here. Typical NWO, chasing ghosts.
But if the match goes down, if the match is signed like Hennig wants for the U.S. title, Hennig against Goldberg could be a classic, Brain.
And think, Hennig is capable of beating any man in this sport.
Yes, he is.
He gets the win over Goldberg. He has a lot of bargaining power now with the NWO. The whole eyes of this sport are going to be on Curt Hennig if he beats Goldberg. And he can do it. You know it. Goldberg, wherever you are, be careful.
Be careful is exactly right. Fans, let's go back to the ring to continue the action here on Thunder, on Amigo, on TBS, as we're going to get the entrance of Juventud Guerrera here. I want to remind you, we've got a big announcement about WCW Monday Nitro returning to Atlanta. Everywhere I go in Atlanta, in the Atlanta metro area, up in Cobb County, everybody wants to know, when in the world is Nitro coming back to Atlanta, Georgia? We'll let you know that Nitro returns to the Georgia Dome on Monday, July 6th. That's right at the big 4th of July weekend, Monday, July 6th. Nitro returns to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Tickets will go on sale 1 week from tomorrow. That is next Friday, May 29th, at the Georgia Dome box office and Ticketmaster. Not tomorrow, but next Friday, tickets go on sale for Nitro returning to the Georgia Dome. You can meet DDP and the Nitro Girls at the box office that day, the Georgia Dome Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. when tickets go on sale. Wow, big announcement about Nitro returning to Atlanta and the Georgia Dome once again. Meanwhile, another member of the flock, Boris, is in there, and he'll face Juventud Guerrera. Juventud, a young man, never never surrender, never say die, and he certainly has had to prove that to members of the flock.
Tony Brain, you always have to admire somebody with that kind of ambition, but at what point does ambition cross over into just making the wrong decision? We've seen Juventud Guerrera attacked by Boulder. We've seen him attacked by Reese. The bigger men of the flock have basically taken this kid apart, and here he is on Thunder against one of the flock's big guys again.
Well, he won't quit. He'll keep coming at you. Sometimes I think he should do more defensive moves than he does, but seems to be working for him. He'll stand there toe-to-toe with you. He don't care how big you are.
Oh, my goodness. He landed on his feet incredibly that time. Boulder with a foot into the chest, and Boulder gets elevated over the top and all the way down to the floor. Can you believe it? Look here. Lodi has returned. As Juventud goes way over the top.
He was hooked to a bungee cord, didn't it?
It appeared that way.
He's going to have to hit Boulder with some of those aerial moves, but Boulder, I think, might be remotivated now that we've seen Saturn and Raven at least bury whatever hatchet was standing between them, and things apparently all sweetness and light with the flock.
Juventud never surrender, back on top again. This time caught in midair by Boulder. Boulder just so big, so strong, but Juventud, 1, 2. Oh. Incredibly, I mean, you think you have Juventud Guerrera down, you have him at bay, and he can just slip out of your grip and turn something against you.
He's so fast, he's so quick, and you reach for him one way, he's behind you. He's just so fast.
And let's not forget it was Juventud Guerrera, whom I think Dean Malenko, if nothing else, has a tremendous debt of gratitude to pay.
That's part of the conspiracy Jericho's talking about.
Horace looking out, and you know what he's doing here, guys, and he shouldn't be doing this. He's giving Juventud an abundance of time to get a second wind to mount a comeback. Right now, Horace has put in the deep freeze, so to speak. He has slowed down the tempo of this match. That's what he wants, and he runs right through Juventud once again.
Yeah, Juventud don't need much time to recuperate. He's not a 300-pound guy, so he can get on his feet pretty quick.
Look at the slapping in the face, in the back of the head. Horace just trying to intimidate, trying to show the young man up here. And this sold-out crowd here at Thunder in Cleveland, Ohio. They are pumped for Lex Luger and the Giants still to come here tonight. One-on-one. Look how quick this man is. He hooks him from behind. He's trying to get a sleeper hold on, I believe, and he's finally got it hooked.
Juventud right in the middle. Horace does all he can do and backs him away.
Juventud doesn't care how big you are. He'll just climb up you and put a hold on you.
Now he's fearless.
But Horace has taken two things away from Juventud most of this match. His speed and his ability to hit you with an aerial assault. He's kept the young man mostly grounded.
That's what he's done, Lee. A great point there, and he puts him down to the mat one more time here.
I like Horace.
Oh, I know you do.
I like his style.
You like guys. Well, you like the flock. I mean, you kind of like Raven, because Raven is kind of like, there's a lot about Raven that's...
No, Raven was spoiled. I was pampered.
Up on top.
Uh-oh.
He hooks on hard to Horace with a scissor lock on the head.
Now watch Reese.
Oh, the big man.
At 7 feet tall, Reese is in. Look at the size differential, if you will.
This is no match right here.
And Horace has the attention of the referee. Oh, my. No match is right. And he wiped out Juventud on that one. Wiped him out.
Get the blotter for Hoovy.
And Horace... The man's dead weight here, guys. He can't even grab him by the hair to pick him up. The man's, well, just out on his feet is what he is now. And Horace wipes him out with a lariat. 1, 2, 3. Well, that was an afterthought. Thanks to Reese, Horace of the flock comes away with a win over Juventud Guerrera. Once again, the flock, too great in numbers when you're going in the ring, and even too great in numbers for the referee to handle.
And look at the 2-on-1 combination they put against Juventud. These two big guys.
Still to come, Lex Luger battles the Giant, our feature bout. But next, the return of Dean Malenko to Thunder, and a whole lot more.
And as far as I'm concerned, we could have a lot of fun if we both get in there together and we use those two as punching bags.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following. This is a sunflower seed, a David sunflower seed. They come in this bag, they fit in your hand. You got a hand, don't you? David sunflower seeds for more nutty roasted taste.
Howdy, Tom Bodette. Motel 6 is renovating nationwide. As for the rooms in Dallas, the one I checked looked great. Adios for now.
It's your ride. Simonize has 21 ways to make it a classic.
Know what's inside Lean Pockets ham and cheddar? Lean smoked ham, real cheddar cheese, and still only 7 grams of fat.
What are you gonna pay?
Lean Pockets.
A crowd of two-wheeled enthusiasts gathers at the Honda factory in Marysville, Ohio.
Today, we are proud to introduce to you the Honda Shadow Aero.
The bike's a real hit with the crowd. The Aero sports the latest in streamlined design with an exhaust pipe right out of the pages of science fiction. Here's Miss Aero showing off the bike's dazzling colors. The Honda Aero is available today, and what's the verdict in Marysville? There you have it, and it's full speed ahead for the bike of tomorrow.
Just because you're looking for a tire you can afford doesn't mean you have to take a gamble on quality. Go with a name you know. Go General. General Tire. Change your tires, America.
For everyone who'd rather do it themselves, we make the new generation of Wagner Power Painters with power, control, and versatility like never before. If it needs painting, staining, or sealing, the choice is easy. Get a Wagner and get it done.
The jobs of tomorrow are here. Thousands of them, waiting to be filled. But you have to know the fields they're in, and you have to have what it takes to master those fields. Because you can't get the jobs of tomorrow until you get the skills of today.
Start by calling ITT Technical Institute for an informative brochure. Call 1-800-257-1234. That's 1-800-257-1234. Call now.
Want 50% more shine stuff? Get new Ultra Shine Protectant from Armor All. It's the ultimate shine.
This portion of Thunder on TBS brought to you by Burger King. If you ask us, it just tastes better. All right, fans. Well, coming up at the Great American Bash in Baltimore on the 14th of June, it will be the unlikely duo of the Macho Man Randy Savage of NWO. Oh, and I think that was Savage right there. And it will also be Macho Man Randy Savage, and it will be Rowdy Roddy Piper together against Hollywood Hogan and Bret the Hitman Hart.
I know it's an unlikely combination, but we're not asking Piper and Savage to, balance the budget or cure disease. We're just asking them to fight. And who better to fight than the team of Piper and Savage?
Piper and Savage together, but Hollywood Hogan and Bret the Hitman Hart. That is a duo that I've never seen together on a pay-per-view telecast as a team before.
No, I don't think they've ever wrestled each other. I don't know how they're going to work as a team. Piper's mentality, Savage's mind, I don't know how that team's going to work. Throw them all four in there and let's see what happens. It's going to be something to see.
Remember that Piper reversed the decision that happened between Bret Hart and the Macho Man Randy Savage at Slamboree, and then a war of the words broke out. Don't forget on Monday, here's what happened.
I got something that I want to say to Savage. It was a tough night, and I'm not the kind of guy to talk behind someone's back, so I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit. I told Savage I'm calling him out, and I'm going to tell you to your face, Savage, I'm calling you out, and get yourself out here now. I didn't know that it was Bret Hart that hit me in the back of the head. I didn't know that. I'm not going to be the kind of referee to let it sit. So I'm telling you, as commissioner, I'm making a decision. I looked at it, and as count of a disqualification, I am changing my decision. The winner of the match. You can't put a loss in my column.
He's
You don't go reversing any decisions on me. I won that match right in the middle of the ring. And Randy Savage, you need an excuse, and you've got one. You're gutless, and Roddy Piper, you're gutless too.
Brother, I don't need any excuse. And to prove the unfinished business, to get it done all in one night, I'm inviting you down here, and I'll finish what I should have done last night.
And as far as I'm concerned, we could have a lot of fun if we both get in there together and we use those two as punching bags and keep trading them off. And I suggest June 14th, the Great American Bash, we kick their rear ends. How about it?
Let's do it right now!
Oh, come on! Did you hear that, brother? Whoa, you want it right now? You got it right now!
Well, I guess in many ways cooler heads prevailed. And nonetheless, the Macho Man Randy Savage and Rowdy Roddy Piper are going to be a team. They're going to be a unit. And the Macho Man is here. Along with the gorgeous Elizabeth. Now, my question still stands here, guys. Can Roddy Piper, who is brave, who will take on any fight, who will battle anybody, can he trust this guy? Let's not forget what he is.
I don't know at this point if Piper thinks he's got a choice.
But, you know, I think Piper will be able to trust him. Because I think Savage wants to get his hands on Hogan and Bret Hart. That's what I think. Savage gives you his word about something, he'll do it. He tells you he'll be your partner, fine. He tells you he's going to go for you, he will.
I don't know. Well, you notice that Liz came out wearing the red and the black. And may I say, the red and the black have never looked so good.
And he's always looked good in scarlet.
Ooh, yeah! It's Jamboree! I promise that you're gonna be witnessing the tag team match from hell, and it's gonna be completely insane. I guess everybody knows what I would do to get the hitman in Hollywood. In the squared circle, I'd go to hell itself and make a deal with the devil, because that's just what I did when I got Roddy Piper, the commissioner, to be my tag team partner.
Wow.
Piper, you hate me, and I hate you. But one thing that I can count on, both of us hate the hitman in Hollywood worse than we hate each other. And now I'm thinking that it's honor amongst thieves. You can count on me. I think that I can count on you. But when it's all over, Piper, if you want a piece of the madness, that works for me. Because last Monday night, your apology that you didn't give me for the mistake that you made was very, very weak. And if you're not man enough to apologize to the Macho Man, well, I'm man enough to beat it out of you. Piper, I want you to fire up for that tag team battle. After we kick their you-know-what, I want you to bring your dress into the ring, because you're going to be crying, because I am going to slap the you-know-what right out of you. You call yourself an icon. I don't even know what that word means. Is that a bird? Like the dodo bird? An species that doesn't exist anymore? Well, I don't know what an icon is, but I know what the madness is. And if you got guts enough to be my tag team partner, we can get it done, and whatever's whatever after that. Oh, yeah!
Well, he's not kidding. Himself, Piper, anybody, he means business. The most dangerous man in wrestling today.
He made a threat and made a promise that not only will he go into the match at the Great American Bash, but he's going to slap Piper as well. The man is just wound as tight as a watch, guys.
A cheap watch. He's ready to explode.
A cheap watch, huh? Wow, fans should have come Luger, the Giant, one-on-one, here tonight live.
You want to buy this one?
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Many are trying to stop the Macho Man. But madness continues. I'm too powerful, too unpredictable, and I'm totally doing this. Try to cage the madness if you can. Oh, yeah.
Get your Macho Madness Cage t-shirt for only $20. Just call 1-800-NWO-0242.
No one can stop me!
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Saturday on the Superstation. For Earth, these fighters are our one last chance. Mortal Kombat, Saturday at 10:05 Eastern, exclusively on the Superstation.
It comes in a flash and leaves in a heartbeat. It's opportunity. If you own a business like I do, you know all about it. You either jump all over it, or you get in the long line of shouldas and couldas.
Opportunity? It's $1 million idea.
For me, it was knowing when to go out on my own.
Or finding a tool that makes doing business easier. The Gold Corporate Card for Small Business from American Express.
It's easy to apply. Call now.
The card started as a way to simplify bookkeeping. Today, it also provides savings at Kinko's, FedEx, and other businesses. And our dedicated Small Business Services Group offers savings on health and dental care, as well as equipment financing.
They do all that so I can stay ahead of the curve.
It's easy to apply. Call 1-800-SUCCESS.
Let American Express give your business the power to do more.
You've got a house, which also means you've got a permanent license to worry. Wouldn't it be nice to make one part of your house worry-proof? Well, you can start with your deck and Thompson's Wood Protector. It not only has our legendary waterproofing, it resists graying from the sun and prevents mildew discoloration. Try Thompson's Wood Protector in clear and 3 sheer colors. Thompson's. It's worry-proof.
You're gonna be real careful with this car, right?
From Terry Gilliam, the true story of 2 men who found the American dream.
Look at me in the eyes.
But are having a little trouble remembering where they left it.
You can't park your car here. Why not? Just not a reasonable place to park? Reasonable? You're on a sidewalk.
Johnny Depp.
Don't take any guff from these swine.
Benicio del Toro.
This is my last drink.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Rated R. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
There's nothing like the feeling of a new car. We bought the Armor All Protectant. It shines, it protects. It's new car juice.
Want to make painting easier? Change your roller to a Wagner cordless power roller. There's less mess, less hassle, and less bending over. So you can paint every room in your house in almost half the time. Get the Wagner Power Roller for fast, professional results.
Well, the problems that existed with Eddie and Chavo Guerrero Jr. run very, very deep. Very, very deep within the Guerrero family. Take a look at this.
Nieto, te quiero mucho. Y Chavito, eres la tercera generación que sigues con lo que tu grandpa y nosotros tenemos como familia. Eres nuestro orgullo.
What she's saying is... I'll translate for you, bro. Listen. What are you doing here? What my mama's saying, basically, is that she's really proud of what I'm doing. And that she wishes that you could get a couple more wins under your belt here, okay? And that me being the favorite out of all of us, that she's really proud of what I'm doing with Chavito.
No,
right?
no. Yo no estoy diciendo eso. No digo eso.
That's the famous Mrs. Guerrero.
Are you sure that's not Carol Channing?
Stop it.
And that's not at all what she said. She was talking about the pressures involved in being a third-generation wrestler, continuing the legacy of the Guerrero family like, well, Chavo Jr. is attempting to do, but Eddie insists on continuing this humiliation and keeping a family divided.
I think it's simple. All Chavo's got to do is listen to the older one in the family, listen to his Uncle Eddie, and life would be so much easier for him.
Guys, I detect a little bit of a change here. Look at Chavo.
Oh, good. He's maybe listening now.
Well, I don't know what it is, but let me let the fans know that next Friday, tickets go on sale for Thunder coming to the Oakland Coliseum on Thursday, July 16th. Tickets go on sale next Friday, May 29th at the Coliseum box office, all Bass Ticket Outlets. Plus, you can meet the Giant, the Nitro Girls, at the Coliseum box office that Friday from 10 a.m. till noon. And tickets go on sale that day.
As all these Moreheads can see,
Eddie.
My family is a little bit confused with what's going on between me and you. So I just had a long talk with Grandma.
Yeah, I know. You want to give me the match, right? I want it, man. I want it. You're my favorite, Eddie. Eddie! 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 Eddie!
He's either seen the light or snapped.
Get out of the ring so I can win this match.
How many times has Eddie had a match that he wanted to go ahead and give to Chavo, and Chavo took it a different way, and now Chavo is taking the bull by the horn, so to speak, here.
Yeah, and look how confused that look is on the face of Eddie Guerrero once Chavo Jr. says that he's going to do it his way. You know, we saw that frustration level boil over a little at the conclusion of the matchup at Slamboree when Chavo Jr. attacked Ultimo Dragon.
Well, here's a man that went home and reached down and weighed the decisions of his life and his family. And when he heard Jericho talking about his father, he couldn't take it anymore. He's back, and he's a cruiserweight champion, WCW. Right there, Dean Malenko. He is 100% back.
And he'll defend the belt here against Chavo Jr. I was going to talk about San Diego. Tickets for Bash of the Beach will go on sale next Friday. And Bash of the Beach will be Sunday, July 12th. And we'll be talking about that during the course of the weeks to come. There you see Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko is all business, always has been business. Great to see him back. But what's going on with the Guerrero family is really kind of incredible. I mean, Chavo, let's not forget the Ultimo Dragon match. And I guess the best thing to do to Eddie is to turn the tables on him, I guess.
Well, remember at the conclusion of that match, Eddie Guerrero actually had to pull Chavo off of the Ultimo Dragon as we see Dean Malenko with the shoulder block. Malenko regained the Cruiserweight title at Slamboree. Now he wants another shot at Jericho to regain his honor and his dignity. And look at Chavo Jr. on fire.
Well, he's seen the light. That's the only thing I can come up with. He knows what to do now. He's listened to Eddie, and he's executing a tremendous game plan. But Eddie's confused. I don't think Eddie knows what's going on.
You know what Eddie obviously is just another one of these egomaniacs in the sport. And Eddie really doesn't I really believe when push comes to shove, he does not like to see Chavo shine. Does not like to see Chavo be successful.
You know, we've mentioned it so many times, they grew up almost as brothers, only 2 years apart in age. And I think you really have something there, Tony. He talks about trying to advance the career of Chavo Jr., but you can see that confused look on the face of Eddie at ringside. I don't think he's really too pleased with what we've seen from Chavo here tonight.
You mean jealousy is what you're talking about?
Yep, pretty plain and simple, isn't it?
I believe it is. Standing switch by Malenko and a reversal. Good move by Chavo Jr. Oh. And Chavo Jr. has been the aggressor here in this match, guys. Did you see Eddie reach in that time?
What's he doing?
Now think of this, guys. What happens when Chavo beats Malenko? How's Eddie going to handle that?
He's not going to handle it well. Eddie was reaching in to help Malenko that time. I don't think there's any question about that. And Malenko with a great vertical suplex of his own. And he got a 2 count.
You know, it's almost when you look at the face of... Well, you can't look at his face now, obviously, because he's covered it up. But I was going to say it earlier, it was almost as if he had that look on his face like he had created a monster in Chavo Guerrero Jr.
He may have.
Chavo hits the ropes. Malenko runs into the foot. Chavo's up on top.
Here's the tornado.
That's right. His tornado DDT could win the match right here. Oh, Malenko hooked him.
What a beautiful counter by Malenko. Drags him out to the middle of the ring.
He may not make it all the way to El Paso, but he's in Texas right now.
Great